that. Yes. Yes, correct. All right, so now we're on 7-6, which is multiplying polynomials by a monomial. Now, what we just reviewed just a second ago was a monomial multiplied by a monomial. Okay, so tonight what you're going to have is you're going to have something like this, and you're going to have a polynomial in there, which is monomials, but more of them, okay? So I'm breaking them down. So this is a trinomial because there's 3 terms, all right, and it's being multiplied by this monomial out here, all right? Now, so I've got to distribute this 5a squared to everything in that set of parentheses. So I'm going to write 5a squared times negative 4a squared, and then whatever this next operation is, I'm going to put it there, so plus, and I'm going to multiply again, so 5a squared times 2a, and I'm going to subtract this time because that's based upon this, and then it's 5a squared times 7. Because, okay, the question was, why would that not be a negative 7? It can, but this has to become a plus. If I make this a negative 7, that forces this to be plus a negative, so that would be plus and a negative, and it's the same. Okay? As I'm distributing right now, if I want to keep that, though, I can just bring it here. There is nothing wrong. This next line you don't have to write, okay? These 2 lines are exactly the same thing. Okay? They're the same thing. Alright? So there's nothing wrong. If you want to make that a negative 7, okay, that's fine. And that might be more useful for you because what if that was a negative 5a? Then you might recognize the negative times negative as positive. So it's totally how you feel more comfortable writing that. Okay? So these 2 things are the same. Alright? Now I'm just going to go through and multiply each monomial by monomial. So this gives me negative 28 to the 4th plus, what's the next monomial times a monomial? 10a to the 3rd. And what's the last one going to be? Okay, and it was negative 35a, which is represented by that subtract, correct? Did everybody get that? Now, is there anything else I can do to that one? Can I add anything a lot together because they're alike? No. So that one's going to be my answer. So I'm finished at that point. And is that in standard form? Well, let's check. What's my degree? What's my degree? What's my degree? So I started with the highest and descended down. So yes, that's in standard form. Yes. Sometimes you will, yes. Okay, and it's from here, just use your commutative property and switch them around. But yes, ma'am, sometimes you will have to switch those around. Okay, any question on that? Good, try this one on your paper. Now, just a reminder, that contains a negative d, a negative 6d. Okay? So just don't lose that negative out front first. Yes. Like more than one variable? More than a monomial? Yes. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Okay? Now, sometimes they won't be able to add together, but I'll show you the trick of what we got to do. Okay? I want to pause that for right now. And keep working. Alright? Elijah, tell me the first line that I'm going to write on the board up here. plus 6D. Hold on, let me finish and then we'll correct. All right, so what do we got? We'll finish going. Okay. All right, problems, anybody? What? What's supposed to be minus? There's a whole bunch of stuff up there. Did you do? You like it? Okay. Okay. Did you do anything to this 2D here? Okay, mine's in parentheses too. But okay, all right, that's what I was wanting. Okay, now, okay, so this is what you're telling me that you had. Do you have anything different here? You had plus here? Okay, I'm going to leave minus for right now. Okay, so I guess here's my question. Why did some of us choose a plus and some choose a minus, Tara? Okay, so what Kara's telling me right now is if she brought this minus first, and then she had a negative 6D, what is a minus a negative? Plus a positive. So I'm good with this right here. Now, I am not unhappy with this though, because my negative 6D cubed could make that look like a minus, correct? And because of this minus 2D cubed up here, that could look like negative 2D cubed, right? What is a negative 6 times a negative 2? Positive 12, which is what you're going to get right here, correct? So that's okay. Same thing here, okay? If I did a subtract a negative, that still gives me plus a positive, so I'm okay with that term, and I'm also okay with that term. Because this negative 6 times this negative 1 is going to give me a positive 6. Okay? So I'm okay with either one of these. These two things are equal. Does everybody understand why they are equal? Okay. So now, Jackson, okay, you can pick from either one. Tell me what you're going to get when you multiply going across. Okay, you're going to choose the top one. All right, so multiply that going through, please, for me. Okay, I'm pausing because that's not negative 12. 6 times 3 is... Oh. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's do it again. So negative 18. I do, but anyway. Thanks for making me feel uncomfortable after you got the wrong answer. Okay. So far, you're okay if you just keep going. Nine times 6 is 54. Okay, well, I got to do the number first. Okay. All right. multiply numbers. Okay, I can't add them. I couldn't add them. Okay, but I can multiply them when they're like that. Okay. Okay. Now, my question is there anything within here that I can add together? No. Is my degrees in descending order? So therefore the answers in standard form, and I am finished with that problem. Any questions? No, that's okay, because what is plus negative? It's the same as subtract 54. Typically, this gets a little messy, okay? So that's why we usually just write it as done as a 54. Okay, that way I kind of lose that. Okay, kind of like we want to lose. Alright, any questions on that one? Okay, good. Here is our next problem that we're going to do. Alright, now, doing the same thing, we got harder though. A minute ago we just did this first part, or we did the second part. Now we're combining them. Okay? It's not that big of a deal. You're going to multiply out your first part, just like we did, and then you'll expand your second part, like we just did, and then you're going to add or subtract them, like we did last night. Okay? So let's expand our first one. So that means 3 times 5x squared plus 3 times 2x minus 3 times 4. Now, this, I'm going to treat that as plus and negative. Okay? So I'm going to do a negative x times 7x squared plus a negative x times 2x. I put that in parentheses by accident. You don't have to. Sorry about that. Minus negative x times 3. Yep. The minus came from this minus. The negative x was because of my negative x. Okay? But we already know what is a minus and negative plus a positive, so I can change that, okay? Let me explain. There are shortcuts you're going to get the more practice you have. This step here, you're going to get to a point that you're not going to have to write out. So that's an optional step. I would like for you to right in the beginning, just so you make sure you're not losing anything. Because the biggest mistake people do when they go from this to the next line is they forget to distribute 3 to everything. Alright, they might do it to the first and second term and forget the third, or they might do it to the first and last and forget the middle. So that's why you expand it in the beginning. But I promise you, your math classes, this will become such a habit that you will skip that step. Okay, you'll skip this step, expanding it out. Okay? So you don't always have to write that. That's just like this minus and negative. You guys already know that that's plus or positive, so you may go ahead and change that. And that's fine. Just make sure you're mathematically correct when you do it. Okay? Let's go through and multiply. So we get 15x squared plus 6x minus 12. Now this looks like a negative. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and write in with subtract. So minus 7x cubed. This is going to be a negative, so I'm going to write him as a minus 2x squared. And that looks like a plus 3x. You may have a question on what I did. I just multiplied each monomial. Yes, Lincoln. These operations right here tell you what you're doing. Okay? That one was plus before I multiply my second term. This one was subtract before I multiplied that last term. Okay. Then now it would just be 3 times 5x squared, and there wouldn't be anything else there. Okay, but if you have polynomials, they're going to be separated by addition and subtraction signs. Okay, so you're just going to bring that sign right in there. Okay, so that's what determines what goes in there. From here, I need to get the things together. I'm going to start with my largest polynomial, which is the x cubed. So I can rewrite these using my commutative property, which is changing the orders around. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms up here, so I should have 6 terms here. I do, so I'm good. Make sure I didn't lose anything when I rewrote it. Go through and clean up, do the math. So that's negative 7x cubed plus 13x squared plus 9x minus 12. Nothing else can add together because no more alike terms. That is in descending order. So I am now in standard form for my answer. Negative 7x cubed. Where did you get 8? Where? Right here? No. Are they alike?
Oh.
No. So there is no more x cubed, so that's why he just stayed the same. These two I was able to add and got this. And then these two were able to add because they gave me that. Okay? Any other questions on that? No, it sounds like you're going to get to bed earlier tonight. Alright. Now, one other thing that you're going to get tonight is you may get something like this. Main thing is, don't panic. Yes, it's a lot of information, but you can do each step. We're going to expand here, so that gives you 2x times x plus 2x times 4 plus 7. Why is 7 not multiplied by 2x? Because he's not in the original grouping. So he just comes down. I do nothing to him. X plus 8, do they get multiplied by anything? No, because they're kind of out there by himself. So there they are. Plus, now I'm going to distribute this 2x. The 12 again does not get multiplied because he's not in that grouping symbol. Go through and multiply. Now I want to go through and look on the left. Is there anything I can clean up? No. Is there anything on the right that I can clean up? Yes. So I'm going to add what terms I can. So this gives me 3x plus 20. So I'm going to combine this 2x and x. Now, if you need to go in here and rewrite that step and rearrange these things, I'm fine with that. That's one of those steps after a while you're going to be able to skip, okay? Okay, I did. Which ones did I add that were not the same? Okay, but what's the variables? X and so I can add them. I'm just only adding the coefficient. So there was a 1 here. So 1x plus 2x give me a total of 3x's and then, right? Same thing with 8 and 12. They're just constant, so I'm able to add those. Now we want to solve. Okay? Tonight, they're going to be able to cancel these off. If I subtract 2x squared from both sides, what happens over here on the right or the left? I can't cancel off. So I'm just left with 8x plus 7. What happens over here on the right? They cancel off, so I'm left with 3x plus 20. Now, we've already solved these equations. Variables on both sides. So what am I going to do? I've got to get my variables together. So we're going to move this one from the right to the left. So I'm going to subtract 3x, which leaves me 5x plus 7 equals 20. Now what am I going to do? Subtract 7. That gives me 5x equals 13. Now, and then it is x equals 13 over 5. And I'm continually leaving that in a mixed number. I mean, an improper. Okay. The mixed number's okay. Okay, I mean, it's fine to go x equals 2 and 3/5. Okay, I'm fine with that. But everything we do in math, most of the time you have to go back to that improper fraction to work it out. So just stop at improper fraction and leave it. Okay? Understand if your SOL test says 2 and 3/5, understand that that is the same as 13 over 5. Okay? That's the only thing I need you to do. Alright, here's our homework. Page 442. I want you to do problems 18 through 41, odd,